Give me a second while I equip my camera with. Oh no. Tell me it's gonna charge. It's got charge. Yeah, good. I did charge these yesterday, but sometimes if this thing was off at the time I had plugged it in, it doesn't realize it's supposed to be charging. There we go. Should be a little bit better still. A little bit more close of an audio source. Welcome, dear friends. What a pleasure it is to have you here again on another day for us to consider the way things work. Is that the way I titled today's stream topic? The way things work, that's right. Have you considered the way things work? I have been thinking about the way things work a lot since I've come to the States. Things work here. Yeah, thinking about infrastructure, exactly. Yeah, Joe is a friend, and this friend has a 14-year-old, and this 14-year-old is also like one of the electric bike riders, right, that frequents this space. So as I'm riding my one wheel, I sometimes stumble upon these kids, and the first time I ever greeted him was so awkward. I can imagine, at least for him, because Kelsey was here at our place, and then I'm pretty sure she showed us a photo of her son. So I kind of like clocked the face, realized that that's what her son looks like, and then I'm riding out there in the world, and I drive past him, and I instantly I'm like, oh, I know this person. This is Kelsey's son, and I go, hey, homie, like I know exactly who he is, kind of thing, right? Like I had too much friendly in my voice. That's some of the stuff that Noodle got into. Yeah. Yeah. Noodle found, I think it's one of your gifts or something, maybe. Yeah. Joe had a gift filled with like little chocolates, and Noodle was very happy to receive such a gift. And then I like stumble upon them. I like say hi, and then I kind of like go upon it's like a passing thing. They're going this way, I'm going that way. I say hi, homie, and then a day or something passes, and there's a little bit more. I basically take cookies to Kelsey. He sees me on the Ring camera. Kelsey tells him I'm not a threat, kind of thing. And then there was another moment where I was out riding, and then him and his friends were riding as well. And then I like basically stopped. Instead of just riding the other way, I like got off my wheel. And the conversation starts where I'm like, hey, homie, like we know about each other, but we haven't actually had the opportunity to introduce one another to each other just yet. Had like some very basic, hello, this is my name. He says his name kind of conversations. And then tell them that I'm from South Africa. And they go like, oh, how are you finding it? I'm like, I like it. And then I instantly start talking about infrastructure. I start talking about infrastructure with 14-year-olds. And apparently, Brayden like told Kelsey that we talked about infrastructure. That's what he said.
He said that he met you, and she's like, "Oh, what did you guys talk about?" And he's like,
Infrastructure. Yeah, that checks out. That is something that I probably would talk about. The best part is even
like infrastructure. Like you guys are riding electric vehicles. Like talk about that. Why are you talking about
infrastructure? I mean, like I was in part saying that these vehicles that we're riding is extra nice because there's so much infrastructure for us to ride on, right? Like the sidewalks, the little mini bike paths, the paths through the forest, the French lick paths you can ride as well. Like a lot of effort has been put into making things work, right? That is today's stream topic. Things work in a certain way here in the States, and I like it. I think I like it. It's pretty nice. Is he tucking himself into the blankets again? I should take him out. I'll take him out soon. He's still in sleepy mode.
He's fine. He's cuddling up.
Yeah.
I'm looking for his other blanket.
The red one? Which one? The red blankets are both in there, if you're looking for them. I don't really know if I like the fact that he's using that blanket, but
Not a fan.
That's the blanket that I use when I sit on this couch every now and then. But I mean, he doesn't shed as much, at
He
least.
doesn't shed,
You want to see what Joe just did? I'm going to show you too, Joe.
yeah.
There she is. And she just covered him in pillows and blankets.
He loves it.
And he's just chilling. And he's just like, yeah, this is fine. I can be sticking out these blankets. All right, Sam is here with us. Let me see if I can get this thing. There we go. I think it's better positioned now for my sanity's sake. Sam says, yeah, it's weird. Only some places in the Midwest. You're expected to say hi to everyone you see. I don't live in one of those places myself.
Yeah, you do.
Sam?
Here, everybody says hi to everybody. Here.
Yeah, I do. Sam says. That was a Sam comment, sorry, that I just read.
I thought you said you don't live.
No. No, you're right, Sam. This is one of those places. I am one of those people that waves at everyone as well. Even the ones that don't want to wave at me. I wave at them too. Goodbye, Sean. I'm not actually letting go. Love you. See you soon. I mean, we now have some food prepared, so we're just gonna do something like that. What do you think? We do. I didn't eat all of your stir fry. I thought I was gonna leave some for you too. Love you, Zhao. See you in a bit. Me curious. There it is.
It matches you today, sir.
I'm gonna buy you a watch. I can buy you a watch. Love you. Yesterday we had a whole moment where Jo came back home and she asked me about this thing. Look! I put my flowers. On them. You're cute. Now imagine if you actually got done up. Imagine. My beard extra trimmy. My hair made extra boflufious. I didn't put any product in my hair. This is like wake up hair pretty much. But it's fine. Alright. I don't need to be made up anymore. There was a joke that me and Joe even had this morning about straightening my hair. Joe will add some heat and straightening to her hair to make it do what she wants it to do. I have straightened my hair but one time in my life. And I determined that it's not exactly the look that I think I go for. I just discovered a little... Can you see that? No, you can't. There it is. What are you doing, dude? What are you doing? I'm pretty sure the rest of it's stuck in the pillow, but at least this part isn't. I'll put it here with a little feather. Love is true. The way things work, right? That is our centering thought for today. I am definitely curious. I think the way things work in this place is a direct result of the amount of capital that is kind of available, right? For instance, this is something simple, but it is something that I noticed. You know, during the big snowfall and all of that snow stacking on top of each other, the neighbor of ours had their gutter completely ripped off the side of their house when all of that snow with the mass tried to come down. And I heard it. I just suddenly heard these loud crashing sounds like metal gnashing. And I'm like, did someone just crash their car against the building next door or something? I come outside to see this, like, what used to be a gutter and like the side trim on the side of the building just completely ripped off of it, laying on the ground. And for instance, like, or to give some context, that's not something I've ever seen before, right? That's not something that happens where I'm from. If something happens with so much intensity that the literal gutters get ripped off the side of your house, right? Like, you got bigger problems. There's probably like lots bigger problems, like there's big old trees in the road or something, or the electric lines got taken out. Hey, Darren. It's nice having you here, Darren. Sending you love, bro. And then I see said gutter on the floor, right? And then literally, as soon as the temperature changes, as soon as it's mildly comfortable outside, it was one of those days where it went up to 20 degrees Celsius. So, like, I think in the 70s or in the 80s, it was between the 70s and 80s. I'm seeing people fix the gutter again, right? And it just got done. It just got done. And I'm sure that there's probably insurance or whatever, people have home insurance and they can kind of like claim that stuff back. But where I'm from, uh, I imagine that would be kind of left. Maybe the gutter will get pulled somewhere else, it would get thrown away. But the problem itself would not be very solved, probably for a while, probably for a long time. And it's just something small like that. Like there's been cracks in the road because of the snow. There's been pipes that have been bursting because of the freezing temperatures as well. And it gets fixed. It gets fixed with such efficiency. The work gets done. And it just gives me this sense of like I'm really like awed. I'm like, what? Like it is that easy, technically. I think that's the thing, Maybe that's what I'm actually trying to get at, is that things work in America and it's been made easy in the most part, right? Like the conversation was had with one of Joe's friends as well about the lawn, right? That they had a big lawn and that it was technically the male partner's responsibility to help take care of said lawn. But because he was dropping the ball a little bit, the female partner spent some of her earnings to get someone else to cut the lawn, right? And like it's something like that, where you can do things the hard way, or you can pay money and then it's easy, or at least it's made less hard. The responsibilities can be shifted so quickly just with some capital, right? To echo another sentiment, if if the side if the side gutter of our home had to come off like that, it would be us. It would be us who would end up fixing it, right? And as a result, it would take so much longer as well, and there would be a whole thing about buying the freaking stuff. I think that's the biggest thing as well. It's like I've wanted to build so many things, but the process of going and getting the actual components is never something that we actually do. Me and Joe had a little bit of a conversation today about having an artsy day, right? Where we can use wire to make little armatures, to cover them in clay and make little entities, right? And because we have those constituents, we have the base stuff, the plan gets to be made, right? Where the way that I have kind of like grown up, and I think it's maybe an extension of my family home as well. There's a lot of talking about getting things done, you know? Yeah, we're gonna do this thing at some point, maybe. And then months will pass with nothing happening. And it's the opposite way here. Like, I don't know how it works like that. It's like literally the opposite. Hi, of course, Sosa and Cindy. Welcome. It is nice having you friends here with me. I feel a sense of imposter syndrome this morning. I feel a little bit awkward, just a wee bit, just the right amount of awkward. Shrisa Marfo, though, exactly. God knows what I'm talking about. God knows what I mean. It's nice having you here, Gabs. Sending you blessings, bro. And tell us, that's sus. What is sus? What Bibo Sussy is? Did I do something? Am I the sus one? Maybe. Maybe. Imposter. I'm not imposter, I promise. I'm totally Melt. I am totally not a skinwalker that took over Melt's form and happens to be sitting here right now. Nope, I wouldn't do such a thing. Your hair has its own personality, lol. Tell me about it, dude. And it's not a fun personality. It's one of those personalities that's like extra pedantic and has like a will of their own and wants to like go this way when I have clearly stated that actually we're going this way. And then I let it go this way for a second, and then as soon as I look away, it goes this way again. And I'm like, why didn't I say? Didn't I say we're going this way now? Over and over again. All day, every day. Until I go to sleep and forget that I have a body. And then I wake up the next morning to notice what the sleep did to me. And I'm like, oh, seems like my hair and my pillow had a conversation last night. And both of them have come to the collective conclusion that today is going to be either a good or a bad day. I'm happy that you find that funny, Cindy. Love is true. Thank you for joining us. It's nice having you, imposter. Referencing Among Us. Ah, that's the sus. Makes sense. Just teasing. I missed that particular cultural phenomenon, Gob. I was there. I was there for that cultural phenomenon. I even downloaded Among Us onto my computer and proceeded to not play it a singular time. I think it's probably because I didn't have any friends to play it with. And it's not that I didn't have friends to play it with. It's just like my friends wasn't exactly playing. And I think it was a more like kids game, right? Like the kids were really into it. But yeah, it has fizzled. I don't think anybody plays Among Us anymore. Probably. I like to reference phased out cultural stuff, Sam. It's lit. Daps. Yeah, that moment when you go like lit and you dap someone up. You know, I do that all the time because I'm cool and stuff. Like the kids, you know. I'm not unk, as they say. Not me. No. I'm so far from being what unk is. Magic 8-ball but hair. Exactly. Right. You've heard about reading your palms. Now get ready for reading the curls. All right. If the curl goes this way instead of that way, I'm so sorry. Today is gonna be a bad day. That's what it says. I'm not the one who makes the rules. What about butt hair? Okay, Sammy, if you oh man, that would be quite the contrast, right? All of these streams, thousands upon 800s of melt streams to have yourself viscerally scarred. No thanks. I'm so sorry, Cindy. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Like that's usually not even a joke I'm willing to make, but we found ourselves here, right? I don't know how to work the room. I'm trying to work the room here, okay? I'm trying. I'm struggling. I don't think Melt wants to talk about that. No, my heavens to all. Gobs. Yeah. Being a human is an experience. It never ceases to amaze me. It was awesome. I don't think Melt's gonna want to talk about that. Melt leans in just hard enough so that I can stomp. So I can stomp it and be like, okay, I joked about it too. Let's move on. The joke was made. I made the best joke, okay? Alright. No more making of jokies. I have been feeling like relatively really good. I've been wearing this technological device. And this little technology tells me things. Tells me what my heart rate's at. Tells me, wait a second. Just realize it's almost Wednesday. Funny, you have a great personality. You're funny. You have a great personality. Thank you, friend. And you knew Cindy? Is it Cindy? Yeah. You knew? It's the first time you're seeing me. I do one of these live streams every day, little by little, chopping away at infinity, right? I have this whole ambition. I have this whole ambition that I want to live to 1,000 years old. And I have made the promise to this community that I'll do a live stream every single day until I get there. Right? Maybe I'll stop live streaming when I turn 1,000. Maybe. But probably not. Probably not. I'm going to be like, what, bro? You've been streaming live for 907 years. Why stop now? And I'll be like, not a bad argument myself, I say to me. Maybe I will stream for 1,000 more years, you know? But we're only 5 years in. We're going on year 6 now, so we still got 995 to go before we get there. And I look forward to seeing you there, Cindy. All right. Part of me turning 1,000 is you turning 1,000 minus or 1,000 plus, however old you are right now. You know, I've been feeling a cleansing going on generally, shedding old job, refusing urges of revenge, cleaning, and organizing, etc. As well as the landlord had my whole house pressure washed yesterday, and it felt metaphoric. Cathartic, I'm sure, as well. What a trip. What a trip it is, Gab. I've been feeling similar things in my journey as well. I think you're going through even more cleansing experiences. Mine has been manifesting in, of course, one, this change of space that I've been in. But two, I felt this like change of self. That's the thing that's really been kind of like on my mind, is like how I'm changing. Right. And I am not intimidated by change in that way. But I am very mindful with change. Right. There's one thing that I mentioned to Joe, and I even mentioned to the community as well in one of the streams, how I am, in so many words, scared. Hey Pegs, it's nice having you, miss. I'm scared, in so many words, to change in a way that I wouldn't appreciate, that I wouldn't recognize. Pretty scarf. You like this one? That's nice. This is a scarf that was gifted to me by Christian, one of my best friends. His mom passed 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Very, very tragically. She had cancer. She was fighting for a long time. And Christian showed up for her. He was working / training to become a scuba instructor. He already had his license to instruct. Like, he was allowed to take people out diving, but I don't think he was allowed just yet to teach people as well. And then while he was busy with that process, he had bought his mom some scarves close to the ocean. And he brought these scarves back to her. When he returned home, it was clear that she wasn't doing well. And then he returned home. He left this world that he had created for himself to go and be with her. And he spent the last of her time on earth with her. And then he had all of these scarves that he had bought his mom, and he gave them to me. And it is an honor getting to honor her in that way as well. Making her a part of my work, a part of my flowers. I'm sorry for being a little, like, sharing this part of the story, like, it can be a little bit sad. But the way that I'm seeing it is that there's still silver linings kind of thing, right? There's still silver linings. The amount of love that Christian had for his mom is something that I admire. Taking all of this feeling, bringing into our hearts to allow ourselves to appreciate our moms, appreciate our own moms. I have a call every week with my mom on Wednesdays. So tomorrow I'll call her again. It really is. Thank you for the pretty scarf comment. Love it. Good morning. It's good to share. It's true. It's interesting that your friend shared this as well, because this is a conversation had between me and Joe. Joe told me that she likes this scarf as well. And I told her about the story of Christian. So that's kind of like why I'm sharing the story as well. It feels like it's a moment to honor her in so many ways and in so many words. This will become something beautiful. Oh, I miss him. You know Christian? Mr. Pegs? Mrs. Pegs? Do you know Christian? Did you have a different username at some point? That could be it. But if you've been a part of this community for a while, you should know Christian. Christian, I think Joe is fast approaching higher numbers, but I think Christian was our most frequent guest on this space. My son. Miss Pegs, if I am picking up what you're putting down, I can imagine there's a lot of pain there in what you're saying. But it might be, if you want to share, you are allowed to in this space. Geez, there it is. My son passed away. He was 38. I'm so sorry, dear friend. 5 years ago. 5 years ago is when I started this journey of life, doing things in this way. Right, so in a way, Miss Pegs, suddenly, and natural causes, that must have been even more shocking. Right, I try not to ask. I read a book called The Five Invitations. And in that, Frank Ostaseski talks about how when people pass, it's very frequent that human beings ask how the person died, right? Like knowing how the person died is going to make it better somehow, give context somehow. If they died in a car accident, it gives a certain quality to the death. If they died of natural causes, as you say, right? It's almost like we're trying to talk about it instead of just acknowledging how tragic it is for a mother to lose a son. Can't imagine that must have been, something that you were prepared for. "38 is so young. But you did say he lived a good life. So live your best life." I hope that he did too. I hope that you had a good relationship with him as well in the final moments. I think that's one of the biggest things as well about passing, is that we, at least I don't, like the conclusiveness of it, right? That if someone passes, that's kind of it, at least in this life, right? There's a few scenes in a show that me and Joe have been watching called Shrinking. And in Shrinking, there is a few scenes where they talk to someone deceased, like they're still there, right? Like they'll pick up a photo of the person and talk to the deceased person like they're still there. And then there's memories as one way that we keep the dead alive in our minds. But the inability to conclude certain things when it comes to the emotional bodies, right? Like if I fought with my dad and then he passed, that feels way worse as a thought than having had a good relationship with him before that happened. And there's something to be said about how that works, right? That is today's stream topic, how things work. I feel like the society we find ourselves in right now separates us. My dad had a conversation or shared a voice note. I told him that I'm thinking about him, and I asked him what's going on. And then he sent me a 14.5 minute voice note. And I was like, dude, why are you sending me a 14-minute voice note? That was my first thought. But I listened to it. I'm getting goosebumps a little bit. I listened to it. I like locked in and spent the time. Didn't even 2x his voice note. I listened to the full 15 minutes. Sat there with him. And one of the things that he talked about in that voice note is a conversation that he had with his sister, and how his sister was going through a little bit of a hard spot. She was struggling with her health for a while. And it was a 2-hour conversation that they had, and it's something that he said where it was almost like one of the first times that they had talked with each other in a very long time. Right? And not only that, but in his words, we live past each other so much that we'll ask the questions like, how are you? Kind of like a surface level, how are you? You say, I'm good. And then we move on, right, to the next thing. And he realized that during this whole health battle that she was fighting, he didn't really know. And he didn't really know because he didn't really ask, right? And it's something like that that just kind of like makes me think in so many words. It makes me think about this world that we're in. Makes me think about the things that we make time for. Makes me think about who I am to other people as it relates to that experience as well. You know, if I died, I would like to believe that I leave most people concluded in a positive way, right? I trust that if I died, most people would miss me instead of celebrate my goneness. And I feel like that's definitely something that I've been working on. I didn't always believe it. Okay. All right. You will be missed. And you are very loved. His last text was, I love you. That's so beautiful. You want to tell us his name? We can honor him in that way too. Right? Keep saying his name in the Mexican folklore kind of perspective that you die once when you die as a body, and then you die the second time when your name is said for the last time. I'd be happy to keep him alive with you. We all die, but we treat death like a novelty when it comes around, instead of the eventuality that it is. It's an interesting point you're making, Sam. Very interesting point indeed. It is a novel experience, right? When it comes to the individual for yourself, and when it comes to the individual as an extension, right? As someone you know, that I know you, Sam, and I spend time with you, and I know you have a little boy and a beloved, and then you have a certain cycle, when it comes to the way that you show up in your world and the things that you like doing. And all of those things are normalized, expected, a certain pattern that I can predict. I think maybe that's a good word. Predictable, right? Kind of predictable. And if you had to die, God forbid, right, that would be different. It would be novel in the way that it would be different. But treating it as an eventuality would be hard because we see it as an eventuality as it relates to age, right? That if Sam one day is 790 years old, and then she dies, we're like, yeah, well, had to happen eventually. She kicked around for 970 years, but it had to happen at some point. And in that way, I still think it would be a novelty. Maybe we could celebrate death at that point and celebrate the person and their life instead of it being such a mournful thing. The conclusiveness of it. It might conclude for you as the person dying, but the work still needs to be done for all of the people that remain behind. All right, it's not done that way. Love hard and grieve hard. So true. Natalie says, I'm popping in quickly to point out the palindrome. I pointed out the palindrome to show as well. Thank you. Thank you, Natalie. My great grandparents were alive then in the year 1881. I'll be in the 1900s very soon. And then I'm going to enter the 2000s. Yes. I'll enter the 2000s when? Around May, around June. Not too far away. I see I dropped in at a great moment. We love you, Natalie. Love is true. Thank you for sharing, Ronnie. Love to Ronnie. May you be dancing in the stars with all of the other disembodied souls, dear Ronnie. Love to you. You too, Gobs. Aw, Miss Pegs. Looking back, God and the universe gave us clues, almost like being prepared in a way. It's interesting. Like I was trying to get at that a little bit as well, right? There's a certain quality of, as I was talking about the whole conclusiveness of death, I was like, yeah. It's interesting how we're almost like led to a certain state, right? I'm thinking about how it works as it relates to the overarching, karmas and fate and clairvoyance or synchronicity or awareness. He was an old soul. Good. I am on YouTube because of him. He had good taste. YouTube is a pretty cool platform. It's not all of it that's good, but there's a lot of it that's good. He was an old soul. One day when Sam is 700 years old, oh fuck, no, I'll do it myself. It takes that long. I love you, Sam. I love you a lot. And if the conversation of someone passing is gonna come up, you bet your ass it's not gonna be anytime soon. All right. No dying, at least for the next 670 years or whatever. Okay. All right. Deal. Good. What is something about him that can teach us something? That's that wonderful. That's a good question. Miss Beck says he believes in hard work and gotta spend money to make money. Those are definitely good tidbits of wisdom. Hard work. Had a conversation with one of my friends yesterday. Morris. What a cool name that is, don't you think? Morris. I really like that name. And Morris is one of the friends that I made by doing festival work. He is a client of mine. The festival called Conclave, he's the owner or co-owner, co-creator of that festival space. And He's an inspiration in so many words to me. He's been living in South Africa for a while. He's also originally a South African born person, came to work here, met someone, married an American lady. I think her name is Victoria. And he has this objective, has this goal, right? When it comes to the way that he works and the way that he earns, that he has this plan of what he's going to do with his money. And how he's been spending his money is in basically creating this business that is a record label slash event organizing, makes festivals, plans festivals, kind of thing, right? And the conversation was, in so many words, had about the hard work that it will take, and the money that we'll have to spend in order to make things that are valuable, not only to me but to other people, right? Valuable enough that they would be willing to spend a certain amount of money to find themselves at that event, right? And it is this experience of, I don't want pragmatism. I think pragmatism, right? Instead of being stuck in the theoretical, be very practical, very logical, and create systems that will make it easier for you, right? I don't know that I am the most skilled person to do something like that. But when I meet people like that, it makes me feel like all of us are capable of more than we know. You know? Networking was his thing, connecting with people. He helped a lot of people that I don't know about until only after that he passed. It's nice to find that stuff out at least. Supercalifragilistic expialidocious. I haven't said that in a long time. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I practiced, when I was I think 6-year-old, to be able to say that word because I felt cool in saying it. And I would ruminate it. Okay, I want to share something with you guys. Kodansha's YouTube channel has the entire Mushishi series of Right Now to watch. If you haven't, you should. It's beautiful. You want to tell us what it's about? From what I'm reading, I'm thinking that it's a cartoon or anime. God forbid I said cartoon. You said what? You said what now? Is it animation? That is, I think, a good one. Miss B, he sounds like he was the glue in his community. He was. I was so shocked. I'm sorry to hear that, dear friend. Yeah. Ronnie, right? Honoring him. I have not, luckily, dealt with much loss in my life. My grandma and grandpa has passed away on my dad's side. Technically, my grandpa was a step grandpa. Is that a thing? Technically, step grandpa. But he's the only grandpa that I ever had, kind of thing as well. I don't know if me and him ever had a really good relationship with each other. I think it was one of those things where it was very clear we were different. I have unfortunately felt very alien my entire existence. And especially so with my grandparents, where it would always be, I would always try to engage, of course, right? Try and be as present as I can be, as a child can be. But it always felt like neither of us know what to say. You know that feeling? And my grandma had Alzheimer's, and it was getting bad. the last time that I had seen her, I I was on my way to China. It was just before I was on my way to China. And at that point, she was already pretty far gone in a way where her seeing me would cause her visible distress because she would look at me and see my dad. And then it would mess with her brain that she was losing it in so many words. And her son looked like he's in his 20s, right? It's like, what's happening? You're not supposed to be in your 20s. I am old and you should be older too. But I would spend time with her, still hold her hand. And it was almost like a foregone conclusion kind of thing that she was going to be the one that passes first. And then my grandpa, he had diabetes and he was a what we would call a naughty diabetes, right? He would eat sugar when people weren't watching because he wanted to, right? He liked it. He liked eating sugar, even though he knew it wasn't good for him. He would do it anyway. And I think that's what took him. You know, I can imagine he was probably doing a lot of that when he was dealing with my grandma as well, helping take care of her in her final days. They were in a space where they had help as well to help take care of them. And then I was with my friends at that point. We were all in an open state of mind. We were on the copy, Magneta. And then I hear a vehicle approach. And my dad and my brothers get out of the car and they let me know that my grandpa had passed. And it was, as you said, it was shocking. It wasn't what I expected. Right. And I feel like that's the thing that shocked me more than anything is that how we receive death, how we process death, comes with a lot of, like how it works, at least for me, comes with a lot of expectation and prediction modeling and right, almost like we prepare ourselves, like we brace ourselves for like a crashing of a wave, and then if that wave comes in from the other side, it can be a little bit more disorienting. And that was what happened, you know. My grandpa passed, and I think within like 2 weeks my grandma passed as well. And it felt so matter of fact, you know, like that's what happens kind of thing. And I guess we never stop grieving or never stop dealing with death, really. But it's not something that I necessarily want more of, right? Hence my obsession with longevity. All right. If I figure out immortality serum and I love you, you better start running. I'm gonna come and inject you with immortality serum. I'm sorry. We're gonna be immortal together. Yep. I don't want to be immortal alone. You're gonna come immortal with me, kicking and screaming. Come on, let's go immortal. Ah, I want to immortal. I want to die at some point. Mm-mm-mm. No dying on my watch. You can die when I'm not watching, but while I'm watching, and I'm always watching, no dying. Mm-mm-mm. No dying on my Mushishi is an anime, called it, that follows someone called a Mushi Master, someone who deals with spirits. They're short, 22 minutes apiece, and they always end on a sweet, happy, or thoughtful note. That does sound wholesome. Mushishi, now on YouTube. Check it out, apparently, friends. Recommended by Sam. I love to puppy. JBs. Thank you, Gobs. Cake. Yeah. hmm That's one of the hardest losses for me, actually, Gobs. Wow. Here I thought. Here I thought I was done crying about Pippi. Never done crying. How long did your progression take start to finish? I'm asking because I'm dealing with the same thing right now. The progression from being in a grieving state to not being in a grieving state, Constantine. Let us know what you're going through. We're going to be immortal together. Oh yeah, that's just what everyone needs. They're gonna build me one of those lead-lined coffins that are used when they suspect folks of vampirism. Maybe. Maybe they'll do that. Okay, it's still 10. I'm trying to drink this coffee so that it's done. No, her Alzheimer's. Oh, yeah. It was, I feel like when it got really bad, it was no more than 5 years, right? When she started losing it in so many words, started not knowing what's going on. Uh, this is not something to disparage the image of my grandma, but more again talking about the way in which the brain works. She got really feisty at the end there. She would curse. She would say profanities, right? And it was this thing of like almost maybe like reckless abandon. I don't know. But that was one of the things that was the most curious, right? Is that she got a little bit fiery at the end. But like if it's at that point, there's not much that you can do. I wanted to try and do things, but I wasn't entertained in my own wants to help, which I understand, right? I don't blame them. But I think that's one of the biggest things that hurts us is the what if of waiting afterwards, right? Don't let yourself what ifs at the very least, Constantine. I'm having my cup of goodness. Kale, beets, carrots, apples, and ginger. That sounds really nice. Neat. Is that like a smoothie you're having, I'm guessing? Gratitude. Once the dust settles, you gotta anchor to a gratitude to move forward. It's hard and you gotta force yourself at times, but one day you'll notice a sunrise or a blossom again. Yeah, it's interesting. It's wisdom that Mr. Wonderful is sharing. And that is apparently how we're supposed to deal with loss, right? It's in not trying to speed run it, not trying to get the pain over with, but trying to stay in that state of gratitude for where you are, for the life that they had lived, for the fact that you're still alive. I think that might be a hard one, depending on the kind of person that you are. And then ultimately, and eventually, there will be the opportunity to feel better again, right? To notice a sunrise, as he says, and appreciate it. I think it was a line from Breaking Bad. Wasn't it the Breaking Bad line, Mr. Wonderful? Where I think Jesse had killed someone or something like that, you know. And then Michael, the old guy hitman slash, job doer, where he's the one who said, eventually you forget. Or eventually, no, I think it was, man, I'm like, I feel like all of those characters had such wisdom in their way of being. It might have been Michael to Saul Goodman instead of Jesse, where he talked about eventually one day you're going to wake up and you're going to make your coffee and you're going to watch the sunrise and you're going to realize that you haven't thought about this thing that pains you one time. And that's how you know that you can heal, right? That it is possible for you to heal. Made it. And it's nice having you. Dad, you've been missed. We've been having a very deep and emotional conversation about dying a little bit even today. The day stream topic has been titled The Way Things Work. And it's interesting that we found ourselves in a topic that can be the opposite of work. It might not be work dying, relatively speaking, but it is a lot of work being alive after the fact. All right. And we're doing that work right now and in this moment, continuing forward. I started generating pink runs. I love runs. Runs. I have some runs here even. Runs. Those little candies are great. I really like them. They're so tasty. Gubs figured out how to grow candy on trees. You know, instead of it being like little fruits, it's little candies. You know, that you can have. The most. That sounds nice. 3 seeds have cracked already. Love that for you. The most painful year of my life. I woke up in the morning and I wrote a haiku. I don't think it's a style I can revisit. Hmm. Maybe you can share it if you feel the need to. Gives me giddy excitement to see tiny little lives develop in that way. Me too, dude. Like seeing a little baby germinate, like the way they grow, watching a baby go from just like 2 little sugared leaves, right, to making its first little sharp leaves. And then watching it just, and then training it. It's so fun. So beautiful. As you said, like watching that life develop. Ooh, what you set up like. Talked about it before. Hydroponicking in the closet. Yep. Deep water culture in a 25 square foot closet. Sounds like the right size. 25 square feet. That's big, isn't it? Pretty big. Pretty big. Made it. I'm eating lunch already. Nice. Can I try to gross you out, Dan? Where did this come from? Dying. Dying is for people who already tried Swaggart. You heard it here first. Thinking about dying? Stop. You haven't tried Swaggart yet. Alright? Only die after Swaggart, not before. Give yourself a reason to live. In the future, there's this really good yogurt brand represented by your favorite hip hop artists, of course, and full of probiotics. Sweetened by stevia, a natural plant product. Very sophisticated. Will change your life. It'll make you feel grateful that you were still alive to experience such sensuality, such velvety smoothness, such probiotic goodness as Swaggart, of course. Of course. It's cute that you ask permission first, Gab. If you haven't tried Swaggart, then keep living for a bit longer. Yeah, it's gonna be worth it. Promise. Swagger's gonna change your life. Swagger's gonna make you want to live twice as long. Swagger's gonna make you live twice as long. We're gonna put immortality serum in the Swaggart, right? 1 Swaggart equals living twice as long. Seems kind of cruel to introduce more bacteria to my gut environment than I don't intend on living forever. Well, you see, that's what you didn't realize is the gut bacteria that the Swaggart gives actually produce immortality serum. Yep, that's what they're programmed to do. I went into their little genomes, and then instead of them producing anything else, they produce exactly what you need. That's how it works. Speaking of blossoms, spring is so soon. I can hear the birds again. So good for the spirit. It is. We heard a little morning dove this morning as well. It was cute. Constantine. I'm happy that you laughed at that. Good. Good. Change of pace a little bit. My last run of Grand Croix Punch is having issues. Been vegging it forever. If they survive, they will produce so much candy. Having issues. You trying to get it to like bulk up? What kind of issues you having? But yeah, I hope you have enough space. That's all I'll say. If it's been vegging forever, you're gonna have a freaking tree growing in your house by the time you're done flowering. I have a complaint about my Swagger product. Dragonberry Drake tastes like hot cat piss, and I want my money back. Well, what did you expect? It's a Drake product. Like, it's supposed to be cat piss flavored. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Uh, I wanted to say something like "no hate to Drake," but I meant some hate to Drake. Cold event caused calcium issues. Okay, yeah, that can do it. They don't really like the cold that much, especially not the freezing temperatures that we've been getting here in the Americas. Merjuan, so true. My Armilius uh, aramylisis, Amaryllis, my Amaryllis starts poking out. This season is among us. Yeah, it's just been like fall springing a little bit where it like heated up. It heated up to like the 20 degrees Celsius, like comfortable enough for me riding my wheel in a t-shirt to not to me putting on 3 pairs of pants, uh, 2 shirts, and my jacket, and then I put a pair of gloves inside of my other pairs of gloves, and then I wrapped a scarf around my face, and then I put a beanie on my head, and then there was like a sliver of skin like this, and then I put my shades in said sliver, and then I spent 2.5 hours in negative temperatures yesterday. It was nice. I still liked it. Uh, it's not cold. You're just not dressed warm enough. That's what I say to myself. I did, like to be completely honest. I got dressed, got on my wheel, went riding, determined that I'm crazy. Came back, put on more clothing, went out, determined that I am still not all there yet. Came back, put on more clothing still, and then I went riding, and I was like, okay, fine, this I can handle, this I can do. This is nice, actually. And it was. I enjoyed it. It was fun. And perhaps my pH measuring instrument has become unreliable. Mm. I have heard that that can happen as well. Right, that they can start getting some build up and stuff. Fall spring, dude. New Year, dude. New Jersey is in a snowy tundra right now. Shit looks like Hoth. Planet Hoth. Yeah, yeah, it's definitely not like that here. It did snowflake a little bit yesterday. I was riding in the snowflakes. It was so nice. You just see snowflakes coming like this, and then I'm riding through them, and I watch snowflakes melt on my glasses. Very cool. My amaryllis lives indoors, so it's the increase in sunlight that brings it out of dormancy. Okay. Has there been more sunlight? The space that we're in has definitely been messing with me a little bit, Darren. Like we are at the bottom of a hill, right? So the hill goes up, and then we're like here. We're not completely at the bottom of the hill. Like there's still some drop for us to go. So we're out of like waterline skizziness, problems. But because of that big hill that's on that side of the home, we literally only get to see direct sunlight after 8 a.m. It's very stark to me. Like that's not something I'm used to. I'm used to seeing direct sunlight at 15 minutes to 6 a.m. in the morning when the sun starts blasting me directly. And that's been the thing. You live in a door, you must be really skinny. Yeah. You're making me think about that movie called Downsizing, Gobs. Have you ever seen Downsizing? I kind of like it. It's about this world in which humans have developed the technology to shrink ourselves, to make ourselves tiny little thingies, little small humans. And then we live We build a society. Thank you, thank you. Yes, I've seen it. Yeah, yeah. And if we were that size, we could have like a whole family. We could have like a whole town living in a single door. Have you seen Kindergarten Cop? I have, with the Terminator, right? Arnold Schwarzenegger himself. Yeah, I have seen that one. It's been a long time though. Oh my goodness, Kindergarten Cop is the best. Me and my daughter watch it. That's cute. Our Lord, our Lord Schwarzenegger is like the cop slash Terminator. Yeah. Exactly. He is a combination of those characters at the same time. You know, it's a good watch. I do like Arnold. He's a cool guy. Maybe you should pray twice as hard, Robert. Maybe you need to make up. You need to like bring your side harder, right? If I'm not praying, then you need to pray twice, right? To make up for my not praying once. And then if the person next to you is also not praying, you pray 3 times, right? And then you keep going until you do nothing but stay on your knees and pray. You know, pray for the good of this country, pray for the love of our fellow people, pray for reduction in cost of living. Please pray a lot for that. Pray for that, bunches. Pray for affordable housing. Pray for, maybe like free medical care while you're at it. I think pray for that. Pray for some reduction in war efforts. Pray for demilitarizing some aspects, right? I think we should maybe continue having defense, right? I think that's probably important. However, our ability to go out and kill people, we should pray for whatever the opposite of that is. Maybe we should pray for some. We should pray for some renewables. Yep, that's a big one. Really pray, pray, pray 5 times, at least 5 times for more renewables, right? So we can stop burning oil for our energy. That would be very cool. Pray for new flavors of swagger. There you go. Exactly. That's a big one. That's an important one. That one needs 10 prayers at least. Renewables here, swagger flavors on the priority list, of course. All right. And there you go. You got a big list, right? That's a big list to pray about. And I think if we can pray for all of those things, maybe this world will become a better place. Melt, I've been praying my whole life. Nothing changed. Yeah. That's one of the things that I've noticed about prayer too. Praying to me is almost like me trying to establish exactly what it is I think I need, right? And then it allows me to step in the right direction. Like, I've been praying for a job. Maybe I should start applying to jobs. Maybe I should start equipping myself with new skills so that if I find a job, they would see that I am skilled. A little bit actionable. There was a line yesterday by Gary Lee. He posted something on his channel, this video where he was making a mock ad for a perfume or cologne, right? And this cologne is, I think, called Perfectly Average or something like that. And then he just does this bit about, are you disappointed in men disappointing you? Well, don't worry. I'm telling you, I'm perfectly average, kind of thing. And it was just so enjoyable watching him kind of like do this bit. And then I sent him a message, complimenting him on it and told him that I would like to eventually reach that amount of comfort in stepping into a character and playing it out. And it's something that he said to me that was very actionable, that I appreciated, is that you're supposed to enjoy it. That if you're going to be showing up on camera, ideally, enjoy the process of making whatever it is you're making, right? If it becomes, and that's where I fall short, I don't enjoy. Regularly, I don't enjoy making content, at least as it relates to scripting and then getting my script as shots set and then failing my script and then having to re-record and then right, like I don't enjoy that process, and I think it can be detected on the other side of like looks a little bit awkward. Okay, it is time. I didn't write a poem. I got pretty busy yesterday, but I did make a flower. That I did do, and I do have cards. Let's finish my coffee. That's so hot. Winner before 10:30 a.m. Nice. I get to track my data. Ooh, clicks and clacks in my backs. Are you ready for a card to be pulled? Look at that. Little boxy boxy. You look cute. Thanks. Thank you. That's nice of you to say. I am not cute. I am handsome. The ego says in me. Don't you cute me, I say to myself. I'm joking, of course. Like I actually like being called cute. Kind of. Depending on who I'm getting called cute by. Right. Probably be a little bit awkward if I get called cute by big burly men that are doing construction. Then suddenly I'd be like, what did you say? You said what now? Starts running away. Bow. You're bowing a little bit. Location. Both can be true. It's true. I'm just joking, really. Knooper. I really am just joking. Go, boogert. Boogert, bogurt. Well, tomorrow, watch the Sriracha challenge on stream. What is that like? Why am I getting goosebumps just thinking about that? What are they doing to themselves? Oh, please. Are they putting Sriracha on their assholes? Like, man, every time I hear any word followed by the word challenge, like I think about the Tide Pod challenge and kids eating fucking Tide Pods. It's like, can you stop? Can you stop? Stop. I'm happy that you're laughing with me. Yeah, we don't keep those folks in here. They're just looking to stir up shit, and I'm not here for it. Love is true. The man chugs 3 Sriracha bottles one after the other. That's worse. I think putting Sriracha in your hands might be better. See you later, bud. Gotta work. Love you, Mr. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing the space with us for as long as you did, for adding in the way you have. Your presence is appreciated here. Alrighty. You gonna tell me when to stop? Is somebody getting sent stop? I can see Gobs. Gobs is thinking about it. I could just feel it in the mind ether. He was like, I'm gonna send them shlampamparam. There it is. I was calling it. Yeah. Flourish. Ooh. Ooh. I like this card and it matches my colors. Kind of. Yeah. Yeah. This is one of my, I think this is the number one, my favorite card in this entire deck. Like, I really like it. It also has my number. I think that makes a difference. Look at the card we pulled by Mr. Juan. Spiraling into love. Have you considered spiraling into love? See, there's the matchy matchy. My yellows and purples. I do have a purple day. I did wear purple today. Yeah. Nice. Zoe Birdie, you can calm down. I'll come and say hi to you in a second, okay? Yeah, I heard you. But I don't respond to screaming birds, do I? No, I don't. No, I don't. He does know this about me. Eventually, he'll stop screaming, and then I'll come and give him banana bitties, or sometimes an almond. I got some blueberries actually that I need to eat. Otherwise, they're not going to be good for much longer. So I'll share that with him too. Spiraling into love. Good thing I properly got my shit together already. Great, now the love of my life is on the way. It's true. You're gonna get so love of your life though. Your life is gonna be so filled with love that you're just going to be spiraling deeper and deeper into it. What a trip. This card is special to me. One more time, and then I'll read to your friends. That's not gonna work, dear birdies. Yeah, you are a good girl, but you need to use your inside voice. We use our words. We say hello. You say hello. All right. The spiral helix of our DNA whirls around this sacred couple and quickens communication of their intimacy. Human DNA helps connect us to the web of creation. It holds ancestral knowledge as well as future potential in a vast library of information. Also, whirling around this couple are spirals of possibility that they have only to recognize in order to activate. As they experience both human sexuality and universal love, this information stimulates their conscious decision to communicate with genuine intimacy. There are many styles of communication. Simple words may be effective for making a statement or providing instructions. However, when concepts and emotions enter the exchange, words often fail to convey the message intended. There, this card asks that you view the way you communicate. Do you speak from your heart with respect and sincerity? Do you truly listen to the people with whom you are speaking? Resolve to look into the eyes of the person with whom you are communicating and recognize the marvelous being that stands or sits before you. Observe both your own and the other's body language and feel their essence. Listen with discernment before you respond. Formulate your words as if they are prayers, wanting to be shared. We did talk about prayer a little bit today. You hear that? One more. Formulate your words. Formulate your words. Formulate your words as if they are prayers, wanting to be shared. With gentle grace and positive intent, speak your truth in the most intimate way you are able. You find this funny, Dan? This is this is patience. This right here. The show is sharing her words. Yeah, technically it's a dude, but yes, yes. I think he's definitely in a state. He got taken out this morning. Got given nice foods. We made him his stuff, but he definitely seems to be up and at it right now. I did pull this card reversed. Her prayer needs to be heard. Yeah, like I'm more than willing to go spend time with the burb, but I'm not gonna get trained. I am not a very trainable person, unfortunately. I am a very hard learner. I'm big stupid. Oh, I'm gonna get screamed at? Okay, I'm gonna sit and smile instead. Can't get me. Can't get me. It was nice spending time with you. God bless. Robert Paul, God bless to you too, dear friend. Thank you for joining us. Mm, I was about to say that Gab, he's speaking the truth. The reverse meaning of the card, and we did put it upside down. So this is the like pivotal, the point that we need to really consider, right? It goes, you may be wrapped up in your own story or may feel misunderstood. Do your best to step out of your ego and speak your truth. Getting goosebumpies. Look at that. You see the goosebumpers? Oh yeah, oh yeah, there you go. So goosebumpy-ish. Yeah. Step out of your ego and speak your truth. Have you considered that your ego is a liar? Fucking liar. I was about to say. Love is true. Now it's just time for me to show you a flower. I don't have much to read alongside the flower, but I did make my art, which is the technical important part, okay? It's the hard part, I'll say. Yes, interesting. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Hmm. I'm wondering if I did too much in this one. Did I do too much? It still looks pretty. You can be the judge. I don't know if I should turn this down. Oh, there we go. Oh, Joe is here, sending me heart eyes. Man, man, makes me happy. Makes me happy, happy, happy. Look at those. Oh, them textures. Look at that. Yeah, 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 yeah. Going wide into the small spacey. Look at how close. Look at how close those two bitty bitties are. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, where you going? Come back here. Okay. All right. It is revealed. But the only thing that I have written here is when we show up. It feels kind of comical that there's nothing. Right? Showing up just like as the self. This one would be sick as a carpet. It really would. This one would be pretty cool as a carpet. I do want to find like a good printer, right? When I say printer, I mean people that can print onto like materials. Like a carpet, for example. So many has been created. Today will be my 1515th flower. So another synchronous number. On day 1881, I'll make flower 1515. Working, lurking, loving the space. Dan, Gab, Sam, new friends, old friends, near and far, here and there. I appreciate the way you show up. Love is true. You always have such good and positive energy. Lewis, MX8, I show up with that intention. Thank you for letting me share my positive energy with you on this day. I appreciate you, friends, joining me for all of these days. Days upon days upon days of creating with you, friends. Those are days of my life. So many days within which reality continues to be. All right, look at that. It just keeps going and going and going. Your name is Melt. That is my name. If you want to be formal, you can call me MeltMore. But Melt is fine. Love you, sis. Glad you're in my life. Saying it to Sam, to Jean. That's awesome. Thank you, friends, for joining me. We are done. Oh. Yeah, lighting. Melt more coal. No. Melt more metal. You don't melt coal. I don't know if you know this, but I don't think you melt coal. I think you burn coal. And melting is not the same as burning, technically. You need something burned sometimes. You need something hot in order to melt things. Technically, you can melt things with induction. All right? You can create a very strong magnetic field and something can become molten without having to touch anything, even in the center. You look like Daniel. Like damn Daniel. Exactly like damn Daniel. Walking in them J's. Am I remembering that vine correctly? I'm cool like the kids. Kid D. I'm cool just like you. Being a kid yourself. I'm just as cool. Pretty much. Thank you. Like your name is Daniel. You're way off. Like way, way off. Like my government name is more stereotypical. Would you work at a coal mine? No, I probably wouldn't. Probably would not work at a coal mine. But I would do is say goodbye right now. I thank you, friends, for joining me today. Nice to have you, friends, here in this space with me, celebrating another day of life, looking at how things work, looking at how we work through the things. Right? I appreciate you, friends, for joining me. It's a pleasure sharing the space. Until we do it again. Why are you leaving already? I usually try and get like an hour in. If I hit my hour mark, I feel I have given you, friends, an entire hour of my life. Sometimes I'll do 2 hours. I think the longest I've done was like 3 hours, 40 minutes in a single setting. But I usually make the decision based on chat frequency, the amount of comments I still have to get to, the conversation that's being had. Has it been concluded? Have we said all the things that need to be said? And I feel like we've had an in-depth conversation, and it'll be good for us to go into our days and consider how things work and how we work when things change. I see you, friends, again tomorrow. Okay, can I get it by working a normal job? You get what? A G-Wagon. G-Wagon is not the goal, bro. G-Wagon is like one of the worst cars you can try and get yourself, right? It's prohibitively expensive to get it in the first place. It has the aerodynamics of a refrigerator. It has the engine displacement of a fucking work truck. And it has the fuel consumption of a Scottish rugby team. What the fuck are you even talking about? It's cool, bro. Not really. G-Wagons are only cool to people who have really small penises. I'm just poking fun. I'm just poking fun, kid. I'm just poking some fun. But yeah, buy yourself a Prius, right? That's what you should get. The new Priuses are pretty nice, right? That's a car to want. Or get yourself like a secondhand Polestar 2, right? You'll pay like 10% of the price or something, and you would pay for a G-Wagon, and it will cost you zero in fuel. Not a Prius. Get yourself the Prius, one of those old ones, one of those really. It will only drive it on Fridays. If you're only going to drive your vehicle on Fridays, then you shouldn't have a vehicle at all. You should ask one of your friends to borrow theirs. My cousin died behind the wheel of a Prius. Ooh, Turns out they're nice until they run into an SUV stopped in the middle of a damn intersection. That's rough. I'm sorry to hear that, Sam. Yeah, I don't know if they're the most safe cars. Where can I get the 1964 Chevy Impala? Not here. I'll tell you, Kid D. This is not the place. Maybe a 2010 Rolls Royce. Yeah, that's cooler. That I can respect. Get yourself a 2010 Rolls Royce, right? It's already depreciated in value, but don't get yourself a G Wagon. Ain't it? G Wagon ain't it. I'm sorry, dude. I think G Wagon is one of those cars that have become very almost like it's stereotypical. Right? I see a person in a G Wagon and I have certain feelings about them. I'm like, G Wagon driver. You beat your wife as well? I don't know why I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna put this fractal down. Love is true. You saw the new G Wagon has a G turn. Yeah, there's other cars that can do G turns as well. Technically, there are like 7 cars. Hey Google, how many other cars could do G turns before the G Wagon came out with it? Probably like 7. Listen.
Zero production passenger cars featured a 360-degree tank turn before the Mercedes-Benz G-Class.
0?
Specifically, the electric G580.
You're lying.
Some prototype EVs demonstrated the tech earlier. The G-Wagon is the first to bring it to the mass market. Why it's a first?
Okay.
Rivian R1T
Yeah.
originally promised the tank turn, but cancelled the feature before public release due to concerns about trail damage. Yangwang U8 debuted around the same time as the electric G-Wagon, making them the primary competitors in this space.
Okay, there you go, Kid D. I got schooled, bro. But again, like, you're not gonna use that, and if you're gonna use that, you're gonna fuck up whatever you're doing a tank turn on, like me. But it's better when you do it on the G-Wagon. Sounds relative, right? Again, how often do you do that? And spending the absurd amounts of money. Like, again, bro, like I'm really trying to impress this upon you because I know you're young, Kid D. You've told me that you're not even 18 yet. Don't get yourself a G-Wagon. That's not a good financial decision. You're going to pay up your ass in fuel costs. You're going to pay up your ass in insurance. Like, you're gonna like literally bankrupt yourself just in the insurance. Never mind even the running cost of that vehicle. We're gonna get a problem, but they don't have my color. It's not the car. It's not going to work. That's today's stream topic, and I'm gonna finish it off with that. There's better things to put your money to, right? Your money can work for you, and when you put your money in a G-Wagon, it stops working. All right, unfortunately. Save your cash. Try and not buy a car for as long as you can possibly manage. All right. Only buy yourself a car if it's something you need for work. If you need a car, if you get a car, do it because it's going to earn you more money, not because you want it. Because if you just get it because you want it, it's going to only cost you money. A mansion is a waste of money. Yes, that too. A mansion, a G-Wagon is the mansion equivalent of a house, right? You don't need the mansion. It would be nice to say, I have mansion. In the same way, it might be nice to you to say, I have G-Wagon. But it's not going to do anything for you. It's not going to add any quality of life. When you get in it, it's a car. Right? That's its job. It gets you from point A to point B. And if it charges you an absurd amount of money to do that, then it's probably a scam because it doesn't cost that much. I ride a single wheel strapped to a bunch of batteries. Cost me $1,000. I get 35 miles on a charge, and it cost me 50 cents to charge it. $50 cents to charge that vehicle. All right, and then I can go 35 miles on it. All right, technically, the transportation should not be expensive. How about I get a G-Wagon and put it up for rentals or something? Yeah, and then you can lose more. You can depreciate your vehicle's value more. Save your money, dude. Like, I was kind of joking about the Prius thing, but not really. Get yourself a reliable car. Look at a Toyota, literally. Get yourself a Toyota Camry or something, drive that car until its wheels fall off, and then save all of the money that you would have been spending on a G-Wagon in insurance and running costs. You save that money, all right, and you invest it in anything pretty much, right? Do some research, invest it in something that you think will appreciate and value. And then 10 years from now, having driven your Beecher Camry, you're going to be able to afford maybe a home. Maybe you'll be able to afford a vacation that you've always wanted to go on. But you're not going to be able to do that if you get yourself a G-Wagon. I don't like Toyota. They bring 2010 tech in 2025. Yeah, that's why you get yourself the 2010 vehicle, right? So that you have modern tech by those standards. I'm gonna say goodbye now. Like you got me. I do actually like cars, but I'm actually hippie. I'm pretending that I'm actually flicking my beads. Love is true. I thank you, friends, for joining me. I'll say goodbye now, okay? Until we do it again tomorrow. I love you, friends.